Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and this is going to be the last one for this batch of videos that I'm doing. I'm going to save the scotches that I got from my travels here for another session of shooting. Whiskey's starting to catch up with me just a little bit, as most of these have been in the 100 proof, territory, bottled and bond kind of stuff. So this will be the last one we do. It is Four Roses single barrel. I picked this up for $46.99 here locally. Now, the original Four Roses, the yellow label, I was extremely happy with. It was one of the very first whiskey reviews that I did. It was cheap, under 20 bucks. Let's see, I picked the original up for $16.59 here locally. It was sweet, it was floral, it was nice and light. Really, really liked it. Then I tried the small batch because a lot of people were raving about that. Picked that up for $27.09 and was a little underwhelmed with it. It was not as well-rounded or nice as what the original yellow label was. So watched a bunch of videos, watched a bunch of reviews on the single barrel, heard a lot of people raving about it, and I thought, okay, let's drop some coin, again, and most people don't think that $46 and change is a lot of money, but for me, for an unknown, that's a lot of money to spend on something that I'm not sure I'm going to like. So went out, bought the single barrel. We'll explore it together here, find out whether or not it was worth the money. I have tried it previously. I opened this bottle. We got the neck pour out of it. I was a little underwhelmed with it originally, so hopefully that has changed a little bit. It is. It's not bottled in bond, but it is bottled at 50% ABV or 100 proof. So single barrel. So this barrel is from warehouse number QS and barrel number 28-6, either U or V. I'm not sure. I'm going to hold it up to the camera there, see if anybody else can figure out what one it is. It's either U or a V. Yeah, let's see what Four Roses single barrel has to offer here. Now, the Bourbon Junkies, they did a review on this. Well, everybody, it seems, has done a review on this, but the Bourbon Junkies said that this was a really nice whiskey to pair with a cigar. I'm going to have to give that a try, although, I just finished carving a pipe. I showed it off in a previous video, but now I finally made a stem for it and everything. In fact, I'm gonna go get that right now, just to show that off real quick. Here was the original pipe that I made. Took it to elk camp with me. Originally, this was all solid all the way out, and because the original idea was just to have a quick little pipe to take with me that I could throw in my pocket when I'm fly fishing or something like that. It smoked really well. I enjoyed it. Had a whiskey tobacco that I brought with, and then a bourbon tobacco that I brought with to elk camp. It was really enjoyable. But then I thought, well, I'll make a stem to go with it. And so just finished this week, so I'm kind of proud of it, I guess. But just so you can see, that's the stem. The light colored is a wood epoxy that I put, so that's the part that this plugs into to make my pipe, and it's kind of beastie. I mean, that's a pretty big beefy handle and everything to put on there, but I put the epoxy around there so that when I'm pressing into it, it doesn't blow it out. Same here. Originally, I was going to make a wizard pipe where it was a lot longer, but I didn't have a drill bit big enough to drill the hole all the way through it, so I kind of misaligned and blew it out. So I had to cut out about a thumb's width out of the original stem because it was originally all going to be one piece, and then I had to carve out a hole there to insert this end piece into, And then to make sure that I got a good fit to it, I had to put that epoxy on there. And then also on the tip here, I thought, well, for pattern, and also to have a nice hard piece that wouldn't wear away with time. So that way I had 3 pieces that kind of were bone. And then I took and used a dark walnut stain. This is oak. This is made out of a log that my hunting partner gave me. And I hand cut the chunks of oak out of the log and then shaved it all down by hand, whittled it all, drilled the holes out with a power tool, but everything else I did by hand on it. And you know what? I think it turned out really nice. It looks pretty sharp. I really like the dark color of it and that light bone. I knew it wasn't going to take the stain the same way that the wood would take the stain. So, you know, I kind of like the way that it turned out. So hopefully you do too. Anyways, that's a giant aside, but I'm going to try this along with the whiskey, and maybe it'll make a great pairing. Anyways, let's get back to the Four Roses single barrel now that I bragged a little bit. $46.90, no, yes, $46.99 here locally in the glass. Fruity and floral, vanilla, caramel. That's about it. It's the ethanol is not jumping out of the glass. Now, mind you, you know, how long did I just sit here and talk about this pipe? 2-3 minutes or so. So the glass, you know, the whiskey got to sit there for a while. I'll warm it up a little bit, but I'd say this smells more like the original Four Roses than the small batch did. For a 100 proof whiskey, it did not bring a ton of flavor through with it. Super, super light, sweet, fruity flavors and floral flavors in the beginning and middle. The finish is where the flavor picks up, and it is a deep, creamy caramel finish with an ethanol bite that kind of catches somewhere in the end of the middle palate and carries through to the end of the finish. But super, super nice. The one problem I have with it is it's not very nuanced in flavor. It's kind of this fruity floral forward, and then this sweet caramel just picks up, and that is the dominant note that carries throughout. Not a whole lot of other notes going on in there. It's not unpleasant. It's there's definitely nothing wrong with it. I highly suggest that you give a single barrel a try. You'll probably get something different. Who knows? Unless you got the same exact barrel that I did, but it's not nuanced. Like, there isn't 5 or 6 different notes that I'm trying to pick out. There's literally 2 or 3. They present very nicely. They're just not crazy. Pretty much the same thing, only that time the caramel came forward. That seemed to dominate forward, middle, and end. There was a background honey in the mid palate, and maybe an apple, but nothing real major going on there. I mean, that's about all we got out of this. You could throw a vanilla in just for fun, but there's no oak, there's no tannin, no black pepper. For 100 proof whiskey, it did not pull as much barrel impact as I would have expected with it. That being said, you can definitely recognize it as being Four Roses. It's pretty distinctly Four Roses. It's very nice. It's an easy drinker for 100 proof, really. And man, I highly recommend it. So go ahead and pick yourself up a bottle of Four Roses single barrel if you haven't already. Um, Again, single barrels are a little bit of the craps table roulette game. You never know what you're going to get, but chances are when you're dealing with Four Roses or some other major brand, you're going to get something at least fairly recognizable as being um, that brand name. Okay, so go ahead and give it a try. It's a fair bit of money, like I said, here locally, $46.99. I suspect you'll probably find it somewhere in the $50-$55 range, maybe 60. But it's probably worth that if you want a nice bottle, and definitely if you want to go have a cigar or maybe a pipe. Sorry, I got the hiccups now. But I'm definitely going to give that a try. So if you have already tried that pairing, please let me know in the comments down below if you think that this is definitely worth doing. I know the Bourbon Junkie guys, those guys really highly recommended it, and I can see where they were going with it, so I'm going to give that a try. Drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle for in your area, if you have an experience with it, or pretty much anything else that you want to say. Check out Life and Whiskey on bitchute and minds.com. Also, check out my new review channel, Dad Father Review. As I said, this is going to, Dad Father Reviews on YouTube and BitChute as well. This is going to be the last video for this shoot that I'm doing. I don't know how many I just did. Somewhere in the 6, 7, 8 whiskey category, or sorry, 6, 7, or 8 whiskeys I have tried. Alcohol's starting to hit me a little bit, so we're gonna stop there. On the next set of videos I do, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 whiskeys I'm gonna do. I got 2 Lafroig scotches. I got 2 McLelands and a Highland Park we are going to explore. So stick with me for those. Those are going to be some really good whiskeys that we're going to tap into. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great day, and we will catch you in the next video.